Mr Speaker, can I begin by saying I wish to express my deep regret that the content of the statement that I'm about to give appeared in the media earlier this afternoon. It had always been my intention to come before this House first to make the statement, given the significance and importance of this, because I appreciate that you, members across this House and our conventions, rightly demand and expect that. I hope you can accept my deep frustration and regret at what has taken place, and I will take whatever steps I can to keep you updated on the matter, because I do respect the conventions of this House and my responsibilities to this House, Mr Speaker.
Can I just say, can we take it from now that there will be a full inquiry into how this has happened, that everybody will be brought in, questioned, and you will then update us with a full inquiry? That's what I really want.
Mr Speaker, I can give you that undertaking, and I will speak to officials on the matter as you request.
Thank you. Statement.
With permission, Mr Speaker, I would like to make a statement about the future of our higher education sector and the changes that we will be making for students in the upcoming academic year 25-26. Before I go further, Mr Speaker, I want to make clear the approach this Labour government takes to our universities and, above all, to the students whose education is their central purpose. Because the Conservative government didn't just talk universities down, they talked down the aspirations of working class families across our country. They dismissed the ambition of our young people and undermined their opportunities. This government takes a different approach. We are determined to break down the barriers to opportunity, and higher education is central to that mission. Higher education is part of what makes our country great. Enriching our culture, powering our economy, sustaining intellectual traditions stretching back centuries, a beacon of opportunity, not just to students in this country, but from across the world, a sector of which everyone in this House ought to be proud. But when this government took office in July, we found a university sector facing severe financial challenges. With tuition fees frozen for the last 7 years, universities have suffered a significant real terms decline in their income. And we found a regulator, Mr Speaker, subject to political whim, unable to focus on the challenges our universities face. A succession of Conservative ministers who had, for year after year, faced with tough decisions, ducked them time and again. Mr Speaker, we inherited in our universities, as across so much of our public sector, the consequences of long years of shameful abdication of responsibility. Long years in which I heard too often from students of the gap between the course they were promised and the experience they had, about the trouble they had making ends meet as they worked hard not merely at their studies, but often at 2 or more jobs on top. Long years in which I saw the amazing research our universities deliver, but how infrequently those triumphs drove wider success. Long years in which I heard from international students who make such an important contribution to our country that the previous government had made them feel neither valued nor welcomed. Mr Speaker, this is the mess members opposite left behind. But where the Conservatives shirk the hard choices, this government has not hesitated to grip the challenges we face and take the tough decisions to restore stability to higher education, to fix the foundations and to deliver change. We have accepted in full the recommendations of the independent review of the Office for Students. We have brought new leadership to the Office for Students and refocused their work to monitor universities' finances and hold leadership to account. And I thank Sir David Behan for his work, both leading the independent review and now as its interim chair. We have paused the commencement of the last government's freedom of speech legislation while we consider the impacts on universities, students and the regulator. Because whilst universities must be home to robust discussion and rigorous challenge, regulation must also be workable. Mr Speaker, I am here today to make 2 sets of announcements on higher education reform, addressing the challenges our students and universities face, gripping these issues as a responsible government. Firstly, Mr Speaker, we will fix the foundations. We will secure the future of higher education so that students can benefit from a world-class education for generations to come. That is why I am announcing today that, in line with the forecast set out in the budget last week, from April 2025, we will be increasing the maximum cap for tuition fees in line with inflation to £9,535, an increase of £285 per academic year. Now, I understand some students may worry about the impact this increase will have on their loan debt. So I want to reassure students already at university, when you start repaying your loan, you will not see high monthly repayments as a result of these changes to fee and maintenance loans. That's because student loans are not like consumer loans. Monthly repayments depend on earnings, not simply the amount borrowed or interest rates. And at the end of any loan term, any outstanding loan balance, including interest built up, will be written off. Increasing the fee cap has not been an easy decision, but I want to be crystal clear that this will not cost graduates more each month as they start to repay their loans. Universities are responsible for managing their own finances and must act to remain sustainable. But members across the House will agree that it is no use keeping tuition fees down for future students if the universities are not there for them to attend.